Hey everyone, today is Wednesday, the 28th of August 2019. This is The Gap, episode 482. I'm Luke Lawrie. Gilroy is here, and he's looking very cozy tonight.
Very cozy. Partly because of the hoodie, and partly because I'm not fucking standing up in a kitchen.
Yeah. Hopefully it sounds okay. It does sound a little bit echoey from what I'm hearing. But
yeah, it does. I can hear a slight echo, but it's interesting acoustics. I think it's good. I think our listeners will appreciate the slow transition to change. It's not going to be this, dramatic change next week when you've moved over to fucking San Fran. It's going to be like, oh, well, it was different-ish already. It's been different-ish for the last couple of weeks. So, my recording was weird last week, and yours is weird this week, and next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have any chairs.
No, I don't have any chairs.
And you're not able to tilt the camera down or something?
I can. It's just that I've got a suitcase behind me as well. And so every once in a while, I might just sit on the suitcase.
Right.
And so I think it's in a spot at the moment where, like, when I do decide to sit down, you'll still be able to see my face.
It'll be like last week when you could just see the top of my head.
Yeah, for most of
moments. Yeah.
So,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there's nothing in here. It's very echoey. Like, all I've got left to do is, like, everything's gone. Once I'm done with this, I'll edit the podcast and get it ready to go, and then I'll pack up and put my computer gear away, and yeah, I'm good. I'm all done.
All done.
So, yeah, might be a long night.
Might be, yeah. Last night was a long night. We went out to celebrate Luke's big move.
Again?
And again, for the fucking umpteenth time. And got fucking destroyed. It was good fun. At a Japanese whiskey bar.
Yeah.
Didn't drink that much whiskey, though.
No.
Mostly drank shit tons of beer.
Lots of beer. We had some whiskey at the end.
We had a fuck ton of sake at the end. I recall that. I think that was my fade out situation, the sake. Yeah, anyway, good times. Speaking of good times, shall we talk about what we got up to over the weekends? Because we went down to Melbourne.
Sunny Melbourne.
Sunny.
It's always so sunny down there.
Unusual. Like, apparently it rained, but only at night.
It was
weird.
Raining one day when I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It might have been the day that I spent entirely inside doing work.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, it's surprisingly good weather.
For Melbourne, there was one day where I saw the sun. The rest of it was fucking cold and windy.
I like cold and windy, though. That's what I'm in it for, cold and windy. Like, bring it on, right? Like, I look best as a larger gentleman, right? I look best with more layers on because it's more ambiguous as to what I look like. It's like, is he chunky or is he wearing 3 jumpers? I can't tell. Yeah, for skinnier dickholes, yeah, I guess, you want the sun or whatever. Yeah, so... Yeah, we went down to watch some basketball. We had better seats than anyone who paid exorbitant amounts for fucking floor seating, because we were above the fucking court, unlike anyone who paid for floor seating and sat on there. They were zip-tied together. They were Bunnings chairs, like garden chairs bought from Bunnings for, I think they're like $12, and they were zip-tied together.
Yeah.
And
that was to stop people from throwing them on the court, I feel like.
It has to have been, yeah. To prevent another, Filipino game incident, where one of the players grabbed a fucking chair and tried to bean a fucking Australian player. Yeah. But the better part was that, they were on the floor and the court was raised above the ground. So they were basically sitting with zero... Like, if you were sitting at the back of the fucking floor seating... You couldn't see the game. You were better off looking at the fucking screen. Russell Crowe had a spit on Twitter Good on him. If I'd pay $1,500 per ticket, like he apparently did, I'd be fucking spewing as well. Though, yeah. But our seats were fine. We paid significantly less. Well, I paid significantly less. I had a refund I did buy dearer tickets, but I got a refund on them and bought cheaper ones instead. Up in the nosebleeds, just had a bunch of beers, watched some basketball. It wasn't great basketball.
The first half was.
Yeah.
And then just something happened. I don't know.
It looked like, I think Bogan only played like 4 minutes in the second half or something. It seems like he's pretty central to their fucking game plan. He sort of... I don't like Andrew Bogut all that much. He was a cunt to me once, but he seems like a pretty good court leader for Team Australia. So yeah, if he just wasn't feeling it that night, then I guess he couldn't really do much in the second half. But yeah,
Paddy Mills was feeling it the next game.
Yeah, I saw. Actually, he wasn't he the top scorer for the game we were at as well?
Maybe, yeah.
I think he picked up 19 or something. Yeah, but no, he smashed in the second game. That was fucking rad. And we picked up a win. Did I see something like it's the first time we've won in some amount of fucking games? That's crazy.
Well, it's the first time we've beaten them, and it's the first time the Team USA's lost in 65 games or something like that. Or
That's
they
huge.
haven't lost in a very long time.
Massive. Sounds like Ben Simmons has passed up a free world championship. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Melbourne was awesome. We spent way too much time at GG Easy Bar, which is the esports bar that they've got there. We spent a lot of time there.
Mainly because of the Dota. Not because...
A lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, not for any other reason.
No, it was a really good place to watch the highest quality Dota. The International, obviously, we talked about it last week. Continued this week. And yeah, if you want to watch Dota with other people, your options are pretty limited. But GG Easy, they got screens fucking everywhere. They got good food. They got good beers. Yeah, they fucking nailed it, man. I thought it was great. I didn't watch the finals from there. I was gonna, but couldn't make it in. I was staying out with my little brother, and we're having a bit of family time. And family time in this instance meant as soon as OG started playing in the grand finals, I watched it. I took over one. They've only got 2 televisions, and they got a family of 5.
Right.
3 kids. And I just took over a television. I'm like, you can watch the Dota or you cannot, but I'm watching the Dota. And that's about it. Yeah. So I watched the finals, hammered some beers, went out to Two Birds Brewery, which is, they do my favourite beer that I've ever had, the Taco beer, and I got a growler. And now that Luke's moving away, he can't throw away my fucking growlers anymore.
That's what you think.
So
I'm going to air task someone to do it.
He threw away. I got this fucking keg-shaped growler from Whalebone. If you don't know what a growler is, it's about 2 litres, and they're standard size, standardized size. So you can take it to any craft brewery that does growler refills, and they'll fill it for the same price as they would any of theirs. And so yeah, you can take in your growler and get it filled up, or take in another brewery's growler and get it filled up, and you're good to go. You got about a 6-pack. It's just shy of a 6-pack of beer, and it's usually significantly cheaper than a 6-pack of beer. I'm talking significantly cheaper. So yeah, works out pretty good. I'm about it, and got this awesome keg-shaped one from Whalebone in Exmouth, and took it over to Luke's, and he threw it out.
Yeah, I like how you leave out the part where it was an empty growler that you left next to my bin.
I didn't leave it next to the bin.
Well, someone
I
did.
left it on the bench.
Yeah, next to the bin.
Your wife must have put it down. Oh, what? Fucking, oh my God. Everywhere everywhere is next to the bin from that perspective. No, your wife must have moved over there or something while she was cleaning up. Anyway, I'm still sore about it, but you can't throw out this one. It's, having a fucking growler of fucking beers, a couple of extras as well, and watch some sick Dota. It was awesome. I was saying last week that it's sort of you've been getting me to watch more and more Dota via the international, and yeah, I've never watched as much of it as I have this year, but I actually had. Like, when I thought about it, it's just never been live because it's always been a shit time. So it feels different watching it live.
Yeah.
I do have to put up with all the shit that I don't like the heinous amounts of downtime. But yeah, otherwise, like, it's fantastic. Like, yeah, it's like any live sport. I mean, you can watch. I don't have a problem with watching basketball afterwards, but I prefer to have it on live whenever it's in season. I'll have League Pass up and watch it, as it's happening, as opposed to, later on. Sure. Prefer, right? Yeah. And yeah, so that's never going to happen again. I mean, Stockholm is where the next international is. That is going to be fucking disgusting. Although I do believe we will get to wake up in time for a potential Game 5. It'll be the perfect time for waking up and watching a Game 5 of the Grand Final. So that'll be nice, but otherwise, it's going to be a heinous time to watch fucking Dotes next year, unless we actually go to Stockholm. But probably not.
Never know.
You never know. Yeah, it was awesome. The international was fucking awesome. What I like the most, we were talking in our Dota 2 spoiler chats on Discord, and because I'm not a Dota player, it's sometimes tough for me to work out what the win condition is. As I think JB said, kill the Ancient, which is just a huge dick move. But the path to victory is difficult for me to see, and when you can't see the path to victory, like, it's very easy to see, the path to victory for the Warriors is if Steph and Clay are going to miss all their shots, then the Cavs are going to win a championship. Or, like, the Cavs, if LeBron doesn't carry 4 other motherfuckers up and down the court for, however many minutes over every fucking game, then they're going to lose the championships. Like, that sort of stuff. The path to victory is generally what you want to know, but because Dota is so varied and there's so many things to take into account, it's real difficult sometimes to work it out. But for the last game of the international, my wife had been sitting there watching with me, and she's like, "Oh, so how's this one how's this one going to play out?" And luckily, I'd seen enough of OG picking IO to know that basically when Ana hits level 15, it's game over. And that's pretty much it. That's their part. Their path to victory is literally Ana hits level 15. And it was. Absolutely. That IO carry IO situation was way out of hand. Like, but you had to feel for Liquid because it just felt like they didn't have any other options left. Yeah. They couldn't. You can't ban everyone. You can't ban Alchemist.
They were just banning like Ana heroes. Yeah, basically the entire series.
Yeah, which, like, and then you still got to deal with Thompson and Notal and Seb and Chirax. Like, the fucking list. There's too many there, right? Like, the only hope you have is to somehow tilt Ana, I guess. And I was worried that he might tilt in that first one. And I was worried that's why he didn't buy back, because he was tilting. But either they reset him or he didn't tilt. And what they wanted to do was deliberately let them win the first game, because they did that a lot. They lost the first game in every fucking series a lot. A lot. And then they'd come back out and win. I don't know. It was like bananas to watch. Those games were fucking crazy. Game one was like wild because of the comeback, and then Liquid's comeback, mid comeback, when it definitely seemed like they had no fucking way out. But the base race worked. Base races are fucking exciting as fuck. And yeah, they managed to get it done. And then the next games were just fucking stomps. Like, ridiculous. Yeah. And if I was on Liquid, yeah. I don't know what I would have done. Like, good God. You can't... You may as well let IO through. You did beat IO when Secret played it, so maybe you can. But then OG banned the hero they used to beat IO, so... Yeah, I don't know. It was crazy shit. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Really good to watch. And like I was saying last week, yeah, just one of those situations where I think they've got it in a really good place at the moment, where it doesn't, like, games don't take too long. Games tend to be over pretty quick.
Yeah, wrap up in an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know the longest game was 90 minutes or some shit, but yeah, like most games wrapped up in under 60. Probably under 50, I think. And yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
Yeah, I don't think the finals was that exciting. Compared to, especially compared to like last year. Because it was just such a, like you said, a stomp. It was so just
fucking one-sided.
It was super. Like, the first game was definitely an even match, and then the other three was just like, man, stop. This is not cool. But yeah, Liquid still did really well. They basically played in the lower bracket the entire tournament.
They did the whole fucking tournament, which is bananas. And to get all the way to the grand finals, I don't think they ever looked like they were going to lose to LGD. They just looked way better. Yeah, it was just really high quality. It felt like LGD versus Liquid felt like it should have been a grand final as it was. Sure. That was the highest quality Dota. And then, you just watched OG play a tier above. That was the Liquid versus LGD was the fucking amateur league shit compared to what OG were doing. They were fucking everywhere. They play insanely. They just... Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched fucking loads and loads and loads of Dota, but yeah, good God, I've never seen anything like what they were doing. They were just so focused. They're so goal oriented in a way that, yeah, I just don't think you see that much. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Yeah, some good games. I think the Stockholm stuff will be interesting. Them moving it around all the time.
Yep.
is good. I don't know about them ever doing one here or something like that. I don't know of the audience. There's enough people.
Oh, people are coming up. I reckon. Give it another 2 years. 2022. I reckon. TI 22. Bring it to Sydney or Melbourne, I suppose, but preferably Sydney.
Yeah, so especially when you've got someone like Anna, who is considered one of the best players in the world and who's gone back to back victories in this.
Yeah, right.
While he's at his prime.
The third highest paid esports player is now an Australian. The player with the third most winnings is now an Australian. Australia's up there with most wins above a lot of countries.
Sure.
Most international wins because of him.
I mean, he has the potential of being first. Like No Tail's been playing for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think he'd be number one at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
And then, like, you know, he's how old? I don't know, like 20.
Yeah, I think 20. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of life in him still. Unless he wants to retire at some stage, and I mean that's a possibility. He took a break after last year's TI, and it sounds like he's taking another break this time.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? If I could, literally just show up for one job a year and earn $3 million and then walk away, why the fuck wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Good lord. Yeah. That's, yeah. He never looks like he's having fun once the game is over.
Mm.
You know, like you see him in game and he's laughing and he's like spamming the chat wheel and all that kind of shit. And then like they'll cut to the booth after they've won and he'll just like sit there like forlorn, like now I gotta hug these motherfuckers. Like, oh, I'm back in real life. I'm no longer in Dota. Well, I guess I'll just do that.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to be in Dota. Yeah.
I don't know if they go to China again for another big tournament. I definitely could tell the difference between, like, the crowd was just non-existent in that final game. They just did not care at all who was playing.
Like, and that's weird because when I was there for Hearthstone, the Chinese players got knocked out on like day one, I think. Mm-hmm. But it was still fucking packed for the next 2 days, like, and loud, and they were fucking about it. They were super excited. So yeah, it was weird. I didn't think it was like that quiet, but compared to the LGD game, I think compared to the LGD game, it sounded like really quiet. Because of how fucking loud they were, and they did something with the fucking mixing on the commentary, but there are times when all you could fucking hear was the goddamn crowd. But yeah, my theory is, they were a bit quieter because LGD got knocked out, and they may have rebalanced the fucking crowd noise to be a little less obnoxious for the grand final. That's what I think happened.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that they'll go back to China either. I didn't think it was a bad venue or anything like that. It looks really cool, and everyone seems to have had a good time. But it is, like I was saying last week, there's all kinds of shit to consider with going to China and stuff.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing is we had Frisco as well. Frisco came up and said hello while it was at GG Easy.
Nice.
Who is one of
Sunday.
our listeners, and I said that I was there, and he was also there, so he came in and said hello. We talked for a bit, and then I had to bail and go get a plane. So I watched some of it at GG Easy, watched some of it at the airport lounge, and then when I got home, I basically just fired up Twitch on my PlayStation and just watched the rest of the games. And caught up. So yeah, it was good. Anyway, should we talk about board games as well?
Oh yeah, so while we were in Melbourne, we went to a board game bar. I think I mentioned it before, but we went there. Crazy expensive. Actually, everything in Melbourne was crazy expensive. I spent a lot of money this weekend past. I don't know. Do they have higher taxes on alcohol down there or some shit?
I don't know.
It was expensive. But yeah. Anyway, so went to a board game bar, and my wife and I got there fucking like an hour before anyone else showed up. So we were playing this game called the Logo game, which is like like a board game where you answer trivia questions about logos.
Sure.
And it's Australian focused, so I think it's an Australian game. So yeah, you don't have a bunch of fucking American logos that you never fucking understood or anything. So that was good fun. Yeah, just anytime there was questions about cars, my wife was guaranteed to lose every single question. So that was good. And the other thing we did was we played a game called The Game, which was sort of like multiplayer solitaire, as dumb as that's got to sound. You were basically trying to get rid of all your cards. And so everyone had a hand of cards. And there were like 4 rows. And so the deck of cards counted from, I think, 2 up to 99, 98 maybe? 98. And everyone would get a deck of cards, and you had to put a card down on one of these 4 rows. So sort of like solitaire. But the trick was that 2 of the cards you had to count downwards, and 2 of the cards you had to count up. Mm-hmm. And whatever card you put down had to be below or above the previous card. And you weren't allowed to tell the other players what cards you had in your hand. You could say stuff like leave row 4 alone, or do whatever you want on row 3 or something like that. But you couldn't say, oh, I've got a 16, so don't do anything on 4 because I'll put that on. Right? Mm-hmm. So theoretically, you only needed 25 cards in each pile. Not even that, like 24 and a half cards in each pile. But it was so much more complicated than that. Like, dear God. It was crazy. It was, like, so fucking tough. You were constantly, like, you'd be sitting there, and you'd have your cards, and you'd be ready to fucking do this, and then someone would fucking put down, you'd be like, oh, yep, I'm going to put this fucking 16 down next, and then the person next to you would dump, like, a fucking 18, and you'd be like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was one of those games that, like, just sort of devolves into yelling, like, which is generally my favourite types of games. Yeah, it just got way out of hand real quick. It was good fun. And then we played Codenames, and the ladies clearly had no idea how fucking Codenames worked, because they were looking at the fucking cards wrong, and they're like, yeah, they really boned us on Codenames. But yeah, no, it was good. Like, it was a good place. I like that place. Yeah, it was just expensive. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely expensive. The food was pretty crap. The food we got was fucking horrendous.
Yeah, we got chips and dip, and they brought out like fucking 4 corn chips on a platter next to these 3 giant like piles of dip. Like, fair call. That's a lot of dip. And then we asked for some more chips, and they brought out another fucking 4 chips. Like, what are we like? Are we supposed to use one chip to scoop a bunch of dip onto the other chip, or like, are we supposed to just use our fucking fingers for this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they literally fried a single tortilla and then cut it up into chips, and like, that's enough.
That'll
Send
do.
it out there. Yeah, like, good lord. But yeah, otherwise, I did have a good time though. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Talk about video games.
Let's do that. What do we got here?
Let's do that.
We got a lot. Let's start off with Telling Lies.
Okay.
Telling Lies is a follow-up to Sam Barlow's Her Story, which was a game we both played and liked a couple of years back.
Yep.
And I guess the premise of, or the way that Telling Lies and Her Story kind of work is you're watching FMV, so full motion videos, and you're sort of getting the story through like a database, and you're typing in keywords, and that'll pull up basically words from that video, and then you sit there and you watch the video, and then you sort of piece together the story through these videos you're watching. You know, someone might mention a name or a place or something like that, and then you use those words to further the story along. Really interesting idea.
Yeah.
And I think we both actually really liked her story quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this one is basically the same sort of mechanic. You're playing as a person who is, I guess, uncovering this story through a USB drive. And it's the same sort of idea, is that you're searching through this database, and when you first open up the game, the first word that is in there is like love or something like that, and that basically pulls up about, I think it's there's a list of different videos that can actually be displayed, but there's a limit, so it could be 30 instances of love across all of these videos, but it'll just show you 5 of them.
Right.
And so you've got it. You then basically start watching these videos, and you end up sort of being like like an investigator yourself, because you're writing down words or keywords and listening to them talk about this story. And you basically start off with these 5 videos, and that's how you uncover this entire, arc of what's going on, is by watching them and then typing in another word that maybe they've said, or and then just kind of figuring it out that way. And people obviously have the story told to them in different ways, but by the end of it, you kind of get an overall picture of sort of what's happened. So you and I could play and have a completely different sequence of events that unfold, but by the end of it, hopefully we've got the same sort of idea of what was going on in that story, or even, like, because there's so many videos, you may not even see a lot of it, or you're taking a different path to get to the end, I guess. From what I do understand, like, you can actually find the ending of that game pretty quickly if you keep an eye out for it. So, like, I guess it just depends on, someone, like, could have an hour experience, and someone else could have 6, 7 hours, 8 hours,
right,
and it could be, completely different. But
that was the case for her story as well, wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so some of the changes they've got in this one are, I don't think they're in the last one, but I could be wrong. Anyway, there's subtitles in the actual videos, and you can highlight the words when they come up, and then click that, and it'll search in the database for you. And that's not just like single words. You can highlight a couple at a time, and then press search, and off it'll go. It'll kick you back to the database, and sort of search that way. There's things like it keeps track of your sort of like your history, what videos you've watched, how many times you've watched them, keywords that you've searched before, things like that. And because you're watching these videos from like it's basically a computer. So there's a desktop and there's a notepad and whatnot. You can go in there and it's keeping track of the time, I guess, as well. So I'm not sure how that is, if it's actually real time or if it's progressing as you're finding certain things in the game.
Right.
Because you can see the character's reflection in the screen. There's things that'll happen in the background sometimes, like someone else will be walking around, like this person's partner, or you hear like ambient noise from like their neighbors and things like that. But yeah, so it's kind of trying to give you a bit more immersion in there. So there are some issues. It's the way this database search works is that every time you search for a word and it brings up the results, you click on the video, and for some reason, and I don't know why this is in there, but it starts playing the video at the word you've typed in. So it could be at the start of the video, it could be at the end of the video, and these videos could be in the middle of the video. These videos, some of them can go for 8-9 minutes. Some of them can be very quick. They'll be done in 30 seconds. You're sort of watching these characters that are communicating with each other through, I guess, like Skype or maybe phone, like a face chat or something like that. So all the characters in this story are talking to somebody else, and you're getting just what they're saying. So there could be instances where it's a 10-minute video and you're not actually listening to somebody else speak, you're listening to them listen to someone else speak. And so there could be no dialogue or very little dialogue in these videos. And and so there's a fast forward button. And the way that works is, or there's a rewind button as well. It's sort of like scrubbing through a video, so you can use your mouse to click and drag, and the more you move it to the right, the quicker it'll start to fast forward, and vice versa. If you click it, drag it to the left, it'll start rewinding. And then if you just click the screen, that's when it pauses it, and you can start selecting keywords and whatnot. Anyway, so the thing is, there's no play from beginning button. So you've got this video that starts up, and you could be at the end of an 8-minute video that you've got to rewind, and the rewind doesn't go any quicker than, like, there's like 3 speeds, and the third speed is slow. Like, it could take you 2 or 3 minutes to rewind an 8-minute video.
Good Lord.
And if you accidentally hit escape, or I don't know, go back to the main desktop again, and then want to go back into that video, it goes back to that word, and so you've got to rewind. And so I don't know why there's no play from beginning button. I got to the second video in that game, and I immediately quit. I was like, I'm fucking missing something. I have to be missing something. This can't be right. I jumped onto their discussion forums on Steam, and one of the biggest threads on the front page of that was, is there a way to start the video from the beginning? And it had so many responses. The good thing is, someone modded the game and put a DLL, or they basically injected some code into a DLL file, and so you copy this DLL file into your game directory, and it puts a couple extra sort of shortcuts on your keyboard, sort of like the way, I guess, like a VLC, skip forward 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and like a play from beginning and a play from the end. Oh my goodness, that is, I don't know why it's not in the game. It fucking blows my mind. Like,
that's crazy.
That is not there. And I did see some people complaining about it in their reviews, but I read a couple where nobody complained about this. I felt like, holy fuck, like, what are these people doing the entire time? Because it was a super... I was ready to stop playing if that was the way it was going to be, because there's no way I'm sitting there rewinding videos for fucking 3 minutes every time I want to watch something. So yeah,
that's true.
This mod
must have.
Yeah, it's a must have. So definitely check that out if you're thinking of playing this game.
Yep.
And so yeah, anyway, so you're watching all these characters that are interacting with each other as well, and it's got sort of like movie/TV stars in them. There's how many characters? It's about 4 or 5 sort of characters that you're watching in this database. Right. Logan Marshall Green is, I guess, maybe the one people will recognize the most.
Chick from Westworld?
Yeah, there's a chick from Westworld in it. And
I don't know the other two.
Yeah. But it's all acted really well, like really good. I watched a behind the scenes video of how they actually filmed this, and what they ended up doing was they would sort of have locations set up, and they would sort of block it and that sort of thing, and have both the actors there, and then they would move the other actor to wherever they're supposed to be talking, and they would communicate through like Skype basically, or whatever system they're using. But so the other character would have like an earpiece in, so that they could listen to what the other person is acting or what they're saying, and be able to, communicate or act back to them basically. And they would record both of those separate conversations, but and then they put that into the actual game. And so what you're watching is literally like sometimes an 8-minute fucking one take of people acting with each other for their song. So it's really like very well done. The acting in it is phenomenal. But as I said, that some of these videos are you watching someone else listen to someone sometimes. And so that fast forward can be quite handy. Sometimes you'll just start skipping through and have to watch for people speaking and whatnot. So in terms of her story, that's the kind of difference between the two games. Is that game you're sort of watching a interrogation between characters.
Yep.
And so there's always most of the time there's dialogue happening. Whereas in this one, you might not have that happening. You're kind of watching someone listen to someone. So it's very different, a very different type of experience. The story seems pretty interesting. I'm still going with it, so I've not uncovered everything, but yeah, you kind of learning about these characters and who they are and their relationships with each other as you kind of go further in the game. So I'm hoping that, from what I've read, people are saying that the story is very good. And I feel like I'm getting maybe towards the end of it. I'm not 100% sure, because I've got a crazy man's notebook that I've written down all these words. Because even though you can kind of search for keywords in the game, it's like you can't really do it that way. They've kind of implemented this feature in there, but it's hard because you want to watch the entire video. And so you can't stop mid-video, or it's not worth really rewinding it and then going, I'm going to search for this one. Sometimes you want to watch, you'll search for something and there's 5 videos that come up. And so you want to go and watch those other videos. So I just use a notepad and write down keywords that people say, and sort of I'll watch all the videos and then scribble it off when I've gotten through all that list and that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's cool that feature is in there. You can kind of go and do it, but at the same time, I hadn't found it to be very useful at all. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely different to the last game, mainly because of the way it's structured. But it's super well acted, extremely well acted. And the story seems quite interesting. Lots of little twists and turns that are sort of happening and that sort of thing. So I'm definitely going to keep playing it. And I think her story was one of those things as well, where even though you were finished, you kind of just sat there and you kept playing the game, and you want to sit there and watch all these videos and try and see what you missed. So I might end up.
I mean, I thought I'd finished her story, I think twice, and kept watching, and I'm like, hang on, hold up, partner. What the fuck is she talking about now?
Yeah,
and I'd go down another fucking rabbit hole. So yeah, I can definitely see doing the same thing for this game.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to play it probably this weekend.
Yeah, it's very good. It's just when you get into it, you got to realize that sometimes there'll be videos where there's just nothing happening, and you've got to fast forward because they've done it in, And the thing is, what it does really smartly is that you might be watching this video where there's not a lot happening, but you'll find the other conversation later on. It'll come up, or you're watching a video and there's 2 characters talking, and you don't actually know what the other person is saying. They're just talking or responding to this one character, and so you're getting half of a conversation, and then you might find the other video next or later on, and you'll be able to sort of piece together what they were saying. And yeah, it's really cool. It definitely when you hear someone talking about something, you're like, oh, they're referring to that other video that I was watching. It sort of clicks in your mind that what the other character was saying. So yeah. Anyway, it's really well done, and I definitely think people should check it out if they liked her story, because it seems to be reviewing quite well. I think it's about $30 on Steam.
Yep, $28.95. Yep, $30.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Telling Lies, cool. It's called.
Aye, I'm about it.
Yeah.
I just remembered another one that I played.
Yeah, you want to talk about that one now?
Yep. Hang on, I'm just going to quickly make sure I'm allowed to. 28th.
Yep, that's today.
Correct. Aye. So yeah, this can't go up before midnight to the patrons. It's just FYI.
Yeah.
Because that's 28th US. Anyway, So, Man of Medan. Man of Medan. Man of Medan. Man of Medan. Man of Medan.
Man of Van Damme.
The Van of Van Damme. Is the latest game by the creators of Until Dawn, which absolutely loved, and I played it with my wife quite recently and loved it. She loved it. It was fantastic, like a really, really like good rendition of a slasher horror film.
Yeah.
With, where you get to basically decide how things play out. And it's not super varied. Like, it's you make decisions and people die because of your decisions, and that absolutely is a thing. But it's still like a fairly linearly told story. But it was executed really well, and yeah, you felt like you were in control. And the storyline was great for what it was trying to be, which was a slasher horror film. And they're schlocky, right? They're generally schlocky, so it gets away with a bit of schlockiness.
Yeah, the story, like the writing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, So thumbs up from that perspective. But Man of Medan, I have not been feeling the same way. First of all, I don't know what it is, but it looks super low res. Like, it looks ugly. Like, character models look like they're untextured or undertextured. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Like, yeah. They just sort of look like these plastic dolls moving about, and the animations aren't smooth, and it just sort of looks real budget, So there's that. But then there's... So you can pick all your characters. Pick to play, I think, 5 characters. And yeah, it plays like, basically, if there were 5 of us, each of us could play a different character.
Right.
And you just pass the controller when you're doing that.
Yep.
Which I think is good. But yeah, because of the way I was, I did Until Dawn with my wife. I was just playing her role anyway. Like in Man of Medan. It's so I didn't really have that much of impact, but I could see how it would be cool, because one of the things I did like about that, what was that, the detective game that we played?
Hidden Agenda.
One of the things, I did like about that was the sort of, the fact that everyone could sort of join in on the fun. I thought that made it pretty cool.
I think it had was it a mobile app or something like that?
Yeah. It did have a map. It was that they were trying to push all those PlayStation apps, remember? Anyway, didn't love Hidden Agenda in the end. And I think I'm starting to see why. I don't think they get the best writers. I think Until Dawn basically got away with it because, it's supposed to be schlocky.
Yep.
And for the gritty cop drama that was Hidden Agenda, that didn't really work. And for the sort of action adventure horror that Man of Medan is, it doesn't really work either. Like, they're sort of going more, I guess, what's the word? Like the serials, like the old school Indiana Jones style adventuring, but modern.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't know. There's like, I just don't think the acting's very good in it. The interactions, like it's not really the fault of the acting though, because they're working with like some terrible dialogue, and so it means the interactions seem stilted and stuff like that, and just not that, generally interesting, I guess. So we actually just dipped on it real quick. Like we just weren't about it. But yeah, yeah, I'm not a fan, I guess. Largely, I just don't think. Yeah, the story isn't that interesting. It starts off with a really, really rough sequence, and yeah, some of the dialogue we were literally laughing at, like making fun of, which you don't want. It's not ideal. So yeah, I think it's starting to feel like Until Dawn might have been a bit of a fluke. It's got the narrator guy doing the narrating again, but it's not what's his face?
Peter Stormare.
Yeah, it's not Peter Stormare. It's some other dude.
Stormare.
Stormare, whatever. And he's just weird. I just don't think he's great. And yeah, largely, I'm just not about it. I haven't had much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to finish it, to be honest. My wife's not super keen to, so yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Until Dawn had some pretty decent actors in it. I mean,
yeah,
Rami Malek, I guess, was cast in that before he'd done like Mr. Robot. He'd done a couple of things.
Yeah,
Hayden's in there.
That's why I played it in the first place.
Yeah, Peter Stormare's in there. Who else was in that one? Anyway, bunch of people.
Nobody really.
It was good. This one's got like, is it Sean Ashmore?
Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman, not Quantum Break Man.
Oh yeah, Quantum Break Man.
Was it him or was it his brother?
Yeah, same too. Oh,
he's got a twin brother.
Does he?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Holy shit! No way.
Who is
That's
also?
crazy.
I think he's an actor as well.
He was Jimmy Olsen. I always thought Iceman was Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
They used to get him in whenever like he was sick in Smallville. They'd get his brother in or something like that, or yeah.
Right.
So it's pretty handy.
Spectacular. Well, now I just learned something.
Yeah.
How fun. Yeah.
So
okay,
was he in Quantum Break, or was it his brother? Sean Ashmore.
It must have been Sean.
Yeah, it must have been. Anyway, I'm definitely keen to still check it out, just because I was such a big fan of Until Dawn. I think it was on both of our top 5 games of the year list, if I recall. It might have been 5th for both of us, I think. Or
so,
maybe just scraped, maybe 6th, something like that. Like an honorable mention, but I really dug it.
Yeah.
You don't know who the writer is of this one? Because the writer of the other one, he does a lot of like indie, like horror films and that sort of thing.
Right.
He oh man, I went and saw one of his films recently. I didn't fucking like it. It's got Bill Murray and Kylo Ren in it, and it's like a zombie film.
Right.
I can't remember. Anyway, I saw it at Sydney Film Festival, and I thought it was. I hated it.
You hated it.
I did not like it because I was watching it, and then the guy, he's in the actual movie, the director, and I'm like, oh, that guy's from fucking Until Dawn. Is this his film? Oh, fair enough.
Dead Don't Die.
Dead Don't Die. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, I'm bummed to hear about that because I was definitely keen to check out their next project or the next big budget project. I wonder if it was like a, publishing issue as well, or something like that. Maybe they just didn't have the budget because the last one was a Sony game. Maybe it's even possible that this is a different team.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the directors, it looks like, are different people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
In saying that, the designer of Until Dawn is the director of this one, so...
Right.
Anyway. Cool. All right, so that was The Man of Medan.
The Man of Medan. You gotta say it quickly.
I wouldn't be able to say that. I'd fuck it up.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part.
Ancestors.
Let's talk about ancestors. Here's what I want to know about ancestors. I'm just going to give it a quick Google. Fucking sort your life out. Metacritic. How did Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, how does that game have a 69 on Metacritic? It has a 90. Someone gave it a 90. That is amazing to me because I don't know how this game got released in the state that it is. It is insane.
Right.
I cannot believe it. It is crazy that a game would be released the way Ancestors exists. It is fucking obtuse, is what it is. It is so impenetrably difficult to understand as to be annoying, aggravating, and yeah, it's deliberately dumb. You can tell that this was a specific design choice, a philosophy that they pursued. That the idea is that you are supposed to, the concept. Sorry, to wind back, Ancestors is a game where you play a fucking monkey, and that's it. You do monkey things. The idea is you're supposed to evolve towards becoming a human, but clearly evolving is not as easy as you might think. It might actually be. There's a chance Ancestors is creationist propaganda to discredit the concept of evolution. There is a chance. That would be one likely reason why it's so unbelievably complex for no reason. Anyway, so you play a monkey, and when you start the game, you are capable of moving about.
Moving, jumping, running, grabbing things.
And when you say jumping, running, what you mean is if you run, you will always jump because the jump button is also you hold down the jump button to fucking run. You will always jump, which I definitely lost a monkey to, and I believe did you lose a monkey to jumping off something you didn't mean to? Or?
I tried to jump onto like a vine or from one tree to another, and dead monkey.
Yeah.
Because it did not make that jump.
I definitely clipped through some vines that I've absolutely climbed up other versions of vines. So just sort of fucking woo, and then fucking plummeted into the ground, and yep, dead monkey. Yeah. When you start that game, you can run, jump, climb, end of list, and you have to very slowly learn how to do every other fucking thing in the game, and that means everything. I am talking about you cannot use both of your fucking hands at once until you have learned it by going to sleep. Like, I can't believe that you don't even, like, you know how you start Minecraft and you're like, oh, what's this? I'm in some sort of cartoon world. What shall I do? Click left mouse button and you punch. And you're like, oh, okay, I can punch things. And you walk over and you're like, let's punch a tree. Punch the tree and a little block comes out. And you're like, oh, okay. So I'll punch more trees. And you punch more trees and then more blocks come out. And then you work out that you can craft. You can make a stick.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, fair enough. Now imagine if before you could punch in Minecraft, you had to go through fucking 15 minutes of other bullshits of smelling fucking twigs before you could fucking punch
a tree.
And that's Not even the fucking start. That's barely scraping the fucking... Oh my god. It is this... Like, that's just surface shit. Like, from there, it just gets fucking wilder. Like, so you... Okay, you've mastered...
No, you don't master it. I struggled in the tutorial.
Well, this wasn't detailed in the tutorial, was it? Like, this was... Oh, in the sense, I guess, that the whole first time you play is the tutorial?
Well, no, there's like the start of the game, it's like that, the monkey is sort of, the baby monkey is like hiding.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. At one stage, the baby monkey like hides in a tree trunk or something like that under a rock. And you switch character, and then you have to go find this monkey. And you have to calm it down. And it took me fucking like 5 minutes to do this thing, because I did not know what I was doing wrong. I couldn't figure it out. And I did it, and then I still didn't know what I did right.
There's so much where I have no idea what I did right or what I'm doing wrong in that game. Like, it is constant. I spend most of my time playing it, while I'm playing it, with fucking zero clue of what's either gone correct for me or gone wrong. And I'm just like, okay, I guess... It's a learning experience, but I don't know what the fuck I'm learning, basically.
Yeah.
Which, seeing how it is supposed to be edutainment, and seeing how it's supposed to be about the process of learning, like, staggering missteps. So, yeah, like you said, there was that. There was... Is that when they explain what fear is?
Yeah.
And then... So it pops up for, like, fucking... 14 nanoseconds, to tell you fear is something that happens, and then like you get up to something that happens, and this is only if you're like a world-class speed reader like I am. You'll be like, fear is something that happens, and then it fucking disappears. You're like, when what? Something happens, I assume when what? And then if you read like a regular person, it'll just be like, fear is, and you're like, well, yeah, it sure is. I guess I'll just fucking put that one in my pocket and carry on.
And this is happening while there's like shit on the screen that's like, it's like fear is, and you're being chased by like a fucking leopard or something. You're like, okay, I ain't got time to read this now.
Yeah, this seems less important than the fucking leopard that's after me, but fine. Yeah, like, good God. So, yeah, eventually you take the baby back, and you have to have a baby with you at all times so you don't learn anything, right? That's one of the rules.
You don't. You're basically, while you're going out and doing things in the world, you're sort of earning, I guess, learning knowledge or like experience, and then you use that experience to further in the skill tree. But if you don't have a baby with you, you don't earn XP or something like that. Because it took me a while to be like, oh, I'm not actually fucking earning any experience anymore.
And we're not 100% sure if that is how it works, because that was another fucking brief window of time where it was like, if you don't have a baby with you, you won't learn anything, and then you won't, like, some word you never fucking seen before. It was like, whatever the fucking word for learning is. And you're like, excuse me? And then it's gone. And you're like, but I was still trying to work out what that word was. I need that to come back up. Nope, never mind. Don't worry. I'm sure it wasn't important. There's been 2 fucking bits of text in this game, and the rest of the time, I'm a fucking, literally a monkey. But yeah, I'm sure it wasn't all that important. I'll just fucking carry on with my life. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So... You learn how to use both hands, right?
I haven't. Have I yet?
Surely.
I don't think I have yet.
You haven't made a stick?
I've made a stick, yeah.
A sharpened stick?
Mm-hmm.
And fishing? Then you've learned how to use both hands.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right, because you switch between hands. Yeah.
So, you learn how to use both hands, and then, it does not tell you this, but to make 2 objects interact with one another, you have to switch one to your other hand, and then pick up the other. So you want to like hit a stick with a rock. Well, then you need to pick up the stick, put it in your left hand, pick up the rock, and then you can hit the stick, right? But it gets better because it's a fucking skill check, right? It's a skill check, and gets better still, it's audio only. So you wait for a fucking sound cue. It goes, bing, and then you let go. And gets better still, if you hold too long, if you hold for fucking the length of time it takes for text to disappear on your screen, right? You smash it, right?
You'll break stuff, yeah.
It is a hard fail, auditory only skill check, and you destroy everything you fail on. And you have to succeed 7 fucking times. Like, every fucking time you're hitting the stick, you're like, stick, hit, perfect, stick, hit, perfect, failed, smash, and you're like, for fuck's sake, you go get another stick. Sorry, I forgot to mention, at this stage, you have to have grabbed the sticks, stripped them of any leaves, and put them in a pile, because you can't just, you don't like, you're not going to fucking waste your time just getting one stick. You may as well get fucking 12 of the cunts, because you know you're going to break most of them. So you make, and then fucking eventually, like 4 minutes later, surrounded by the shards and splinters of sticks that came before you, you've got your fucking sharpened stick, and you're good to go. And you can go spear a fish. Although spearing a fish took me fucking yonks to work out. I found fish, because I sniffed the water, which is, of course, the traditional way to find fish. And then I just started, stood there fucking stabbing the fucking water for fucking 10 minutes.
It took me a while to...
Fuck?
It's another one of them skill check things.
Yeah,
so you're supposed
but it's
to hold
twice as long?
Yeah.
But it's like twice as long as the other one, so you're like listening, like, nah, it must be a skill check stab.
I did the same thing.
I'll just keep stabbing.
I went up and down this river because I'm like, there's no fish at this spot. Must be the next one. And after about 4 fishing spots, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Where's all these fish?
Yep.
And then the first time that I found the fish was up in your actual little, your cave or your habitat where all your other monkeys are.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't figure out how to get the fish off the actual stick. And I still don't know how. So rather than me eating it, I just give the stick to other people so they can eat it.
Oh.
Do you know do you put it on the ground or something? Like, what the fuck do you do?
Get this. You put it in your left hand.
Yeah.
And then you interact without anything in your hand, and he'll fucking whink it off the stick.
Right.
That's how you do it.
Maybe I have done that.
But
it took me a while. I was just feeding people at once. I just give them the stick and be like, you eat it, because I can't figure this out.
So did you not manage to eat any fish?
I did, yeah. I do remember. But it took me a couple fishes.
So, did you get sick from eating fish?
Well, because I was feeding it to everyone else. No. I think you're supposed to cook it.
I can't tell if those icons that come up down the bottom.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's sickness or health. I have honestly no idea.
One of them is sickness.
But there's been times when I've gotten the broken bone icon.
Yeah.
But it's blue or something, I think. Do I just have
okay. So
have I got sore bones?
No. So when you eat certain things, they give you resistance, and so that's probably the resistance one. Resistance to breaking bones, or you know how I eat a lot of stuff to be able to
that flash. Hey?
Yeah, I eat a lot of stuff that makes you cold resistant, because then I can fucking go out, because it's always raining in this game. The first 5 days it was fucking raining, and I couldn't go outside because at this stage,
rained once. When I was playing.
Oh my god. I think it was raining when I fucking started the game, and it's like, go outside, and I'm like, I can't go out, leave this cave because it's raining. And so I just slept until it stopped raining, but then it was too cold at night, so I couldn't do anything, and then I slept till the next day, and then it was still fucking raining. And this is the start of the game where I didn't know that you could go out and find this food that you'd eat and it'd give you a cold resistance, because, anyway, it is yeah, it's strange.
I find it so fucking fascinating. I cannot stop playing this game.
Oh yeah, I want to keep playing it.
I fucking hate it.
You know why?
I hate it.
It's because
but I can't stop.
The game, the idea of it and the implementation. It's all the mechanics are so interesting and all that sort of stuff. It's just implemented fucking really badly. It's such a. It's a. like you're literally going out, you're learning how to, you know, create sticks and craft items and all this stuff you're exploring, and that stuff is really cool. And it seems like it's a really deep game. Like there's a lot going on because you're earning experience and you're leveling up, and then you're learning how to do this other stuff. But it's like they fucking. I think I said this the other night. I feel like they had a QA team, and they had people come in and do like QA for it, but the developers sat behind them and told them how to do everything.
Yeah.
Like they're playing this game and they're telling like the developers behind them, being like, "Oh, this is how you do it."
Nobody ever played it blind.
Yeah, no one ever jumped in without the fucking developers there.
Until us. Until us, and they're like, "Yeah, no, this all makes a lot of sense." Yeah. Having already spent 70 hours learning how to play this game, I think this is fine. Like people are going to really appreciate this. Like, there's nothing I don't like about this. Maybe, like, there's a little bit of a glitch when you walk on certain fucking branches. But I don't think most people will have a problem with that. No, this is good. Send it out as it is. And then, I get in and, like, it is exactly that, right? Like, there's all this stuff you can do and you're like, fucking, I'm amazed. Like, for one day... Like, one entire day, my little monkey man, like, literally just went around to birds' nests and ate fucking eggs. Like, he was just eating every egg he could fucking find, right? And then giant birds come along and fucking, like, squawk at you, like... But you can't, like, I think you were saying it, and it's 100% true, you do not dare dodge their attack. Because if you dodge their attack, you will fucking yeet yourself off the fucking tree.
Well, that's how I died.
Just die. Yeah, that's one of the ways I've died. I died like that. I died jumping for a vine and going straight through it and plummeting to my fucking death. I died because a boar attacked me and it broke my leg immediately, and then I couldn't run away from the boar while it gored me to death. I died because I was running and I got to a cliff edge and I stopped running, but so when I stopped running, I jumped off the fucking edge, and I think those are all my deaths. I've definitely been poisoned significantly. I ate one mushroom and then I ate more of the same mushroom by accident.
And the only way that you learn that that's a poisonous mushroom is by eating it, and you need to do that because sometimes it'll be a source of food, and other times it's a poisonous berry, and so you end up getting sick from it, and your vision is all fucking blurry, and then there's a fucking tiger chasing you, and you can't see anything, and it's just because I literally don't know. The other thing is it doesn't really give you any indication of what you're supposed to be doing. There's no like goal. I mean, there is a goal. But it's very vague. It's kind of like evolve quicker than you fucking in real life or some shit. Like that's the objective mission, and I don't know what I'm doing. Like I don't know how I evolve or level up. Like because there's like tasks you need to go out and do, and when you get a certain amount of tasks done, then there's some sort of evolution thing that happens. But that's explained really poorly, and so I'm just running around at the moment on treetops because anytime I set fucking foot on the ground, I'm attacked by something. And I just don't know what I'm supposed to do or like.
So I managed to evolve successfully, and I could not in my life explain the process to you.
Because you tried to explain it to me, and I still couldn't figure it out. I'm like, no.
I'm like, look, it's so easy. All you need to do is I have no fucking idea. Like. Something happened, and then 50,000 years passed, and that's all I can tell you. I'm sorry, I'm out of fucking ideas. But it's got like a score, like the amount of years that go past. That's your score. Yeah, and you lose points for having monkeys die. You gain more points for every trait that you've managed to develop, and that's about it.
Yeah, and just touching on that as well, like you've got a tribe of monkeys, and I don't know if this is right, but the first time I switched to a different monkey, the monkey was really hungry, and I'm like, am I supposed to be switching to each of these monkeys throughout the day and like fucking eating and all this shit, or like it doesn't explain any of that.
I am barely keeping a single monkey alive. I cannot look after all of these fucking monkeys, man. Like,
yeah. Like, am I supposed to feed the baby monkey? How's the baby monkey supposed to? Like, I just don't know any of this stuff.
Every time I'd eat something, it'd be like grabbing over my shoulder to try to like the baby monkey. Because I just go find a fucking baby monkey and I put it on my back and then I go eat a bunch of eggs. Right? Like that's my game plan. So I'm like, well, I'm not getting XP. As far as I can tell, you have to come along for me to get XP. I don't know whose baby you are, but you have to come along. And he just like fucking reaches over the whole time trying to fucking eat these eggs. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. These are my eggs, you little bitch. Maybe I'll find some fish for you to eat and you can get sick, you little dickhead. Yeah, I don't know. I managed to lift a rock. Apparently there were scorpions for you. I just found more mushrooms, so I'm like, well, I'm not doing that again. Like, I'm not going to go fuck, like, if the first rock I find doesn't have something new, right? I'm not going to then fucking lift up every fucking rock in all of fucking Monkeyland just to find a oh, well, the last 3 rocks had nothing new, but I'll try this one. Not to mention it's another fucking skill check, right? And I don't want to, like, break my fucking sharpened stick, right? Like, it took me fucking hours to make, so I'm not risking it for some fucking rock. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I really wanted to, like, get a bunch of sharpened sticks together and go, like, get some revenge on some boars, but...
I don't even know how to attack things.
I have no idea. I've got no fucking idea. I can't swing this stick. The best I can do is stab it into water over and over and over again.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at in terms of, like, not being able to kill things, is that, again, I can't go anywhere without being attacked by something. And, so I'm at a point where I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do, because there's, like, you go past a swamp and there's trees you can't really climb, and there's that whole system of, like, getting over your fear, and that it lets you expand out further in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, every time I try and do this, I get fucking jumped by some other animal. If I go too high in the trees and I get attacked by a bird. It's so weirdly, like, hard for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Like, how? Your explanation is the only one that makes any sense. Like, they had to have basically, like you said, had a QA team where they walked them, like, how it handheld the QA team all the way through the fucking process. Because... yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It is craziness.
And the thing is that, like Minecraft, you're going back to that, your analogy of the more you play that game, you're learning about how to interact with everything, or you're learning how to craft. So, like, you get a knowledge from it, right? And then you can start a new character, and you take that knowledge with you still, and you can immediately start playing the game. Whereas in this game, if your tribe dies, you start again from scratch. And so now, even though you know how to do all this stuff, you can't do it because you've got to start learning all over again.
Yeah, if I start a game of fucking Minecraft, I will have a house, I'll have a forge, and a crafting table, and a house, maybe a bed, by night 2, right? Like, I will be ready to rock, like, fucking that, right?
Yeah.
If I start over in Ancestors, and I have done 3 times now, for experimentation purposes, did you know when you look at your camp, the meteor comes down at that time every single time? Looking at discovering your camp literally triggers that meteor every single fucking time. I don't know why. I can't get to the fucking meteor. So
I've gotten to it, and I don't know what to do with it. Right. I thought it was maybe going to give me fire or something, and I went down and immediately got attacked by a boar.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't.
And then a fucking like another tiger showed up, and they started attacking the boar. I'm just like, I fucking don't know. And I found another rock thing, and I don't know what to do with that.
Another rock,
like a glowing green. It's a green rock above your camp.
Oh yeah, I found that.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Emerald.
It's like you discovered this. I'm like, cool. What do I do with it?
Well, That's useless to me. Moving on. Yeah. Yeah. Like I'd have a fucking Minecraft camp set up or a house set up. I'd probably be spelunking already, right? Like I'd be down in some fucking hole in the ground I'd found. I'd have built my fucking house over the hole, and I'd just be fucking ferrying fucking iron up and down, right? By day 3, I'd be wearing fucking full iron armor. I guarantee it. In this, yeah, like there's no fucking chance. You have to literally start by every single time learn how to fucking use both your fucking hands again, and then you start making sticks. Like,
yeah. Or smelling everything.
Yeah, smelling branches.
Or looking at stuff to level up.
Shattering your fucking rocks. Because you missed the skill check or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm super fascinated by this game. And I think there's some really interesting things going on. And I want to keep playing it. Like you, I'm like, I want to fucking keep playing this game. But I don't know why I want to keep playing it. Because it's just so badly... Everything's badly implemented. And I think we were talking about this last night. But like... Yeah, it felt like it needs another 6 months or something, or 6 to 8 months to try and sort out not the difficulty, but like fucking tell people what they're supposed to be doing or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it seems very ambitious and like there's a lot going on, and interesting things that are going on. It's just like I want to play this game, but you won't let me. Yeah. Every time I try and do something. Like, there's no reason why I should immediately start that game and it'd be fucking raining all the time and I can't leave the cave and I don't know what to do. I thought it was fucking busted or something. Because I think I messaged him, like, is it raining in your game? Because it's always fucking raining in my game. Like,
like, it had literally rained for like half an hour in my game, and otherwise I hadn't seen rain at all. Except in that half an hour, I was freezing to death. I was literally just freezing to death in that like half an hour space. I'm like, this sucks. Like, I guess I gotta go back to my fucking cave. But then, like, 90% of the way back to the cave, the rain stopped. I'm like, whatever. Back out I go. Time to go fucking, I don't know, get killed by a boar. Yeah. And apparently it was raining all the time. Like, there's gotta be... It's one of those things, right? It's like, true randomness is never a good idea in video games. You have to fucking lean on the scales at all times in all games. Like, maybe, like, later, maybe after the game has started, you can introduce your full randomness, if that is your, what your heart desires. But, like, you really do have to give people the opportunity to fucking learn shit. Like, you don't spawn in Minecraft, to return to Minecraft. You don't spawn in Minecraft in the middle of in a cave next to a fucking creeper spawner. Like, that would be a pretty solid, like, kick in the dick for a new player, right? Like, that'd not be the best starting experience. But if it was truly random, there'd be a chance that you'd spawn there. No, you're always going to spawn on ground level. And the way during daytime and the way Minecraft is constructed, bad things come at night, and most bad things don't fuck you on the surface. So yeah, you're usually pretty okay from that perspective. Like, there's levels of randomness that just couldn't work in these games. And yeah, like, DayZ, you always spawn on the coast, right? And so now, obviously, ghillie dickheads will just camp out on the coast, but on the other hand, like, the highest quality loot is far away from, like, the likelihood of you getting murdered is lower because you spawn on the coast, right?
Sure.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of fucking way for them to let people in without just straight up fucking you. And Ancestors does not do that. It just seems like it really just wants to fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, even the starting location, like, the game uses, like, this health bar system that's like a radius, like a circle, of, like, health, stamina, and something else. I can't remember. It's like 3. Yeah. And your first, like, tribal... where they live is up a fucking wall, like, and if you're hurt and you don't have the stamina, you literally can't get back to your fucking base, or it's such a weird decision. Yeah. And then later on, like, you start discovering, these locations and you can move your tribe there, but there's no point in any of these places because there's no cave or anything like that. So if you move them all there, they'd all fucking freeze to death.
Yeah. It's every time it started raining 16 times a day.
Yeah. Oh, man. And so and every time I have to go back to sleep or something like that, I've got to fucking trek 400 fucking miles through boars and tigers and lions and snakes and shit that keep trying to kill me. Fucking birds. Yeah. Anyway, like, I just don't know what happened. I want to know how this game was designed, like developed, because there's obviously really cool ideas going on. It's just they're implemented so badly. I shouldn't have to be spending a lot of time looking at the fucking help screen in the menu to figure out how to cure myself from poison and shit like that. It's because I've gone to that help screen a lot to try and fucking learn things that it told me in the tutorial, but I've forgotten. Like the fear stuff you were talking about, like, just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so how do you do?
I don't know.
How do you? Oh,
I did it once or twice with, like, there's an orb that comes up and you're supposed to look at like a ring or something, and sometimes I can't even see the ring. I don't know.
I couldn't see the ring. Yeah, I could see the orb. I couldn't see the ring. It was driving me fucking nuts.
Yeah, I've seen it like twice, and then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm getting this. And then I did it the next time, and I'm like, I can't see this ring. And now there's an orb chasing me that's taking half the screen, and now all of a sudden I'm being attacked by another fucking lion. So, I don't know. Anyway, I want to like this game a lot, but it's making it very hard for me to do so. Clearly I'm missing something because, as you said, it's a 69 on... It was a 70 on Metacritic. Or it was a 71 at one stage when it first came out.
Yeah.
The lowest score in this game is a 4 by GameSpot.
Yeah.
And, this is the argument about, like, video games. The scoring system broken because, like, a 7 is an average.
Yeah.
And I do not.
They're the only 4, though. Like, there should be far more.
Yeah. I think it's a bad game at this.
I gave it a 5, which is, average. Well, yikers. Yeah. I don't know, man.
The editor of Press Start sent me a message on Twitter for one of those 9s that someone gave it. Have you saw the page open?
Yep.
It's the third one down. Great gaming trend. Read this one out. It's good stuff.
So far, I've put about 6 hours total. Jesus Christ. Into the game between both sessions. I'm very excited to learn how to wield a weapon to kill predators and to explore more into the jungle. This has been a really unique and challenging experience, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am excited to learn how to wield a weapon? Good God! Like, you don't want to chuck a review in progress on that one, motherfucker? Or just...
Let's just slap a 9 on it. Just go.
Just fucking, sign me up, baby, yeah. I'm all in. I love it. I love being a monkey. Good God, that is amazing. I cannot believe it. Jesus, anyway.
Yeah. I was just quite annoyed that there's only one outlet that's... I mean, there's a lot of reviews that I read through some of them where people have said they can't recommend the game, and they've given it like a fucking 6 or something. You're like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, boy. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I feel like I would probably be like a 3 or 4 at this stage on it. I hope they fix it, because I'm definitely going to keep playing it once I get back, unless other stuff shows up. But, I just want to get in there and play, and I feel like once I actually kill all my monkeys, that's when I'll get to the point where I don't want to play it, because I'm going to have to relearn everything, and you basically lose I'm going to lose like 8-9 hours of progress or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. I think the GameSpot or the IGN article was talking about how they played the game for 15 hours and basically died and had to start again.
Fuck that.
Anyway. So if that's Ancestors, maybe avoid it until they sort their some of the stuff out
definitely avoid it.
there. Yeah.
It's just, there is literally no way it is worth the fucking effort. Like, there is zero chance it is worth the effort. Which is obviously, you know, ultimately a shitty thing to say about someone's hard work. But it is hard work playing that fucking game. And, yeah, the payoff isn't there. Like, at least they got paid for their hard work. Like, you're not getting paid to play this game. So, you're literally paying to play this game. Fuck that shit. Moving on to Control, the best Max Payne game since Max Payne 3, because it is the only Max Payne game since Max Payne 3, and also it's not a Max Payne game. And also, the shooting in it is shit. That's my title of Control.
Right. That's your byline.
I could shorten it. If I were to do a review, that would be my title, but my short title would be Control, the shooting is shit. But I wouldn't want to set people up to think that it was a negative, view of the entire game. It's just the shit shooting, which is shit. Anyway, what do you think, Luke?
Should we start at the beginning, like what it is?
Let's start at how the shooting is shit.
Fair enough. You play as a lady named Jessie. And she enters this building and quickly learns that she's now, I guess, the director, and the way that of this like giant organization, and this organization basically controls and looks after supernatural events in the throughout the world and sort of like investigates them and whatnot. But nobody in the world really knows about them or knows what they do, and she's searching for something, gets into this building, and the director of this building dies. And the way that a director becomes a director is by being able to wield this weapon, and she's able to pick it up and use it, and it kind of makes her the boss, I guess. And then you're going through and exploring this entire building that has been sort of overrun by these supernatural beings, and you're kind of learning about the world and what's going on, and while also searching for whatever she's there to do. I don't know if they explain that at the start. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, so you're that's kind of the premise of it, and it's sort of set in this Metroidvania-esque level design system in the building where you're going through gaining abilities and powers and sort of backtracking and going throughout all these different areas. Yeah, like I said, Metroidvania is similar to, I don't know, Darksiders or Batman, Arkham, those types of games where you'll see something and you can't get to it until you get the thing that allows you get the grappling hook. There's no grappling hook, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's sort of the basic premise of the game. You've got,
and the weapon that she picks up, that she wields, misses a lot.
Okay, when you shoot it, maybe. So the weapon that she's got is like what would you say it's like? I guess the Judge Dredd weapon. It can sort of transform into different types of weapons. So throughout the game, you start being able to modify this gun, and it starts off like a sort of like a pistol at the start, and then later on it can turn into a shotgun or like a submachine gun, and so you get sort of these different varieties of how to use this weapon as the game progresses, and you start getting different abilities. I think the very first one is like a launch, which allows you to throw things using these like telekinetic powers, and you can pick up objects throughout the world and like launch them at enemies. You get things like a shield later on. And as the game progresses, you start getting experience and points that you can start leveling up all these different abilities that you get. What else is there? I don't know. The actual like aesthetic of the game is like one of the most stylish games I've seen in a while. It's definitely, I would say, this year it's gunning for that. Like, it's got like a look about it. Like, games don't look like this. It's got its own style, and like graphical sort of, I don't know what you call it.
Punish.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, it does. It's like the way it sort of mixes. It's like it's got because the bureau that you're now the director of is sort of like that SCP, right? I've spoken about SCP a ton on this podcast. The creepypasta wiki that like sort of describes these weird objects that they're containing in these the SCP secure, contain, protect, but containment facilities, and like sort of this vague sense of horror. But yeah, all of these objects that they find have this very like distinct aesthetic to them. Like they're generally, it's almost like they're locked in a certain time zone, and so all of that, this sort of 50s, 60s style like vibe from these items is like then it directly clashes with the hyper modern sort of style of the rest of like the way the architecture of the building itself.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like really clean black marble lines and all this kind of stuff. And so yeah, you get this real like distinct feeling of going through a government facility, but then everything you see is sort of time shifted back a bunch, and it feels very like present.
Yep.
And so that sort of adds to the eeriness of everything. The way that so many things in it are from an era gone.
Yeah.
And it feels like the attention to detail is such that, like, I'm certain they have explanations for it. Like, you find documents all over the fucking place.
There's heaps.
There are heaps, and I haven't read them all, but I've read a bunch of them, and like they go into shitloads of detail about like why things are the way they are. And I'm sure there's probably a document that explains why, the technology is the way it is, or why the objects of power tend to be, a rotary telephone or an old school CRT television or something like that. There's seems to be a reason for why everything is the way it is in this game, and they've thought it all through really fucking well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like, it's such a cool, like, that to me is immersion building, the naturally falling down the rabbit hole of realizing that, like, just how much attention they've paid to making this game the way it is fantastic.
The writing, I think, just hands down is brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
I think this solidifies Sam Lake as one of, like, you can put him up there with kind of like, he's like a Ken Levine or like one of those types of people. I feel like he's on that status now between Max Payne, Alan Wake, and Control. Like, he's got a very unique sort of style about the way he wants to tell stories, and when he tells them, he does them really fucking good. I think Quantum Break was a bit of an exception, but that was on part to Microsoft, because that game was good. It's the shit around it that Microsoft tried to put in with the TV series and all that stuff. It was like, this is not implemented very well. And they've taken so much of their other games and put them in here. Like they love being able to tell stories and do full motion video stuff, and so that was sort of something that was in like Alan Wake, and that is now evolved, and it's still in like Control, and they've taken elements from like Quantum Break and put that in here. You've got these full motion video sort of like diaries that you're watching that explain the world, and even that aesthetic you're talking about, the old 60s, it's done in that way. It's got a huge like Lost vibe about it. Like, that is stuff they did a lot in that show, and it's got like Twin Peaks is obviously was heavily inspired for Alan Wake, but also like this, you can see so many things from like where it's drawing inspiration from.
Yeah. I like when you find one of those videos and it's playing on a old school projector, and you can knock it over and it'll continue to play, but like upside down.
Yeah.
It's so fucking. This like just one of the dumbest things that I absolutely love the shit out of. Yeah, like there's that.
Well, the actor for that guy is Alan Wake. He's the voice of Alan Wake. It's not a spoiler. They've announced, like they put this out in a press release. I missed this announcement completely, and as he was talking, I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? I was really confused because I talked about Alan Wake recently because I was playing it, and as soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, this is so strange. And then the other one was that I didn't know was the guy who voices Max Payne is also one of the main characters as well. And as soon as I heard that voice, I'm like, immediately, I'm like, fuck off! What is going on here?
So I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you said it, I couldn't unhear it.
Yeah.
Like, good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, that's pretty cool.
And obviously the main character she was in Quantum Break as well.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was one of the actresses in that. So I like that they've grabbed like sort of they've gone back to their other games and they're taking a lot from it, including like, you know, the main cast is basically all the cast from the other games. That stuff is really fun. And they pay a lot of like there's a lot of homage to the other games they've done, and you can feel it immensely in this game. I think it's just like there's problems with the game. I don't agree with the shooting issue. I think the shooting's fine.
No, shit. It's true.
I don't like the map. I think it needed to be a 3D map.
Yeah, 100%.
Only because there were a couple of cases where I'm like, it looks like there's a fucking, like, I'm supposed to be able to get through here, but it's sort of, the levels are sort of like,
they use like grayscale to denote.
Yeah, like elevation.
Height, elevation, and it's not, like, when there are a couple of levels, it's really hard to tell where the fuck you're looking at. It's really easy to get lost.
Yeah, because there's like different levels in terms of areas. Like you use an elevator to get to these different areas, but then when you get to the area, there's these vertical levels, and you can't tell sort of what, like when something's below or above you. It's really hard to read the map. But that's sort of like, I feel like that was the biggest complaint that I had about the game. Was that it was sort of hard to read that map sometimes. But otherwise, like, I fucking love the exploration. This idea of, like, you could mainline it if you wanted to, but if you start going off and exploring, that's when you start getting side missions and finding different abilities and things like that. And, finding some fucking weird thing in the world and being like, I don't know what this is, but later on it, like, comes back and sort of loops around back on itself. It does like the Dark Souls thing sometimes, where it opens up a shortcut and you'll be able to get to this area a lot quicker. But also just like the thing you were talking about of finding all these collectibles, reading about them, and then maybe you've read a bunch of stuff on this thing and then running into that object later on. And like that stuff is really cool. Like there's a payoff there for being able to, I guess, to read into the stuff. Like not only are they building the world and what's around it, but like they're showing you that stuff. Like it's not like you're reading it just for funsies. So that stuff pays off. I think the world building in it is fucking fantastic. Things like the light switch, like that's like such a cool idea, and just the way it presents, like the presentation in the game, it's just so well done. It's stuff that you don't see before.
There are these voids that you enter, and to enter them, you've got to like flick this light switch 3 times, and each time you do it, it sort of like flashes on the screen, like generally black, and like then you're teleported. When you hit the third one, you just tell it like you instantly transported somewhere, and there's like puzzle solving. There's like really good puzzle solving, like some proper puzzle solving too. Some of it's real fucking easy, but others are there's quite a bit of fucking
The computer one, I still don't know how I did that. Those computer screens where you have to make an image and like rotate little things, and I've done a bunch of them. I still don't know how I do them. I kind of just wing it. Eventually, I get there.
Nice. I'm pretty good at those ones. No, the one I had trouble with was you got those 5 things, and the pattern that you needed to put together was on the fucking whiteboard.
Oh yeah. That's in the luck and possibility room. Is it?
Right. Maybe. I don't know. I brute forced the fuck out of that puzzle. I just kept trying different shit until I got it.
Yeah.
I just had no idea.
But like a lot of that is, some of it's not even a mission. It'll just be like random thing that you can do, and all of a sudden you get a reward for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like tons amount of. So I spent maybe 8 hours one night, and all I did was side missions. Is because I was just like, oh, may as well do this. There's a lot of variety there. There's like a sort of like random encounters as well. Like it'll give you random missions that you can go do if you want. Like you don't have to. They're fucking tough. I don't think I managed to beat one of them while I was playing, but because I was like, fuck that.
Oh, really?
Well, I was so engaged in the story that I just want to keep playing the story. I didn't want to go do those random encounters.
If you find the ones that say you got to destroy the hiss nodes, fucking easy money, baby. They are so fucking simple. Right. You can knock them out in about fucking. You just like work out where they are. Like destroy hiss nodes in research, and you're like fucking teleport no research. Let's see where this shit is, and then you go roll on over, and like I think it's 5 or 6 that you have to fucking shoot, and once you've shot them, that's it. Mission over. You don't have to kill everything. You just fucking shoot the notes.
Yeah.
Bust on out.
Yeah.
Like away you go, and you get a reward at the end of it. So you may as well. If you see a hiss nodes one, you may as well do it. But some like the ones where you have to protect all the fucking dudes are rough, and the ones where you have to kill the rangers are rough. But yeah, otherwise. And if you fail it, if you get killed, you fail, and the mission fails and it goes away. So it's usually not worth the time anyway. But they're his notes, easy money. So yeah, that leads to one of the things I don't like about the game, and it is the shooting. But yeah, your common defense of the shooting in our conversations earlier this week. Was that basically it's you're supposed to every gun, like every type of gun has an accuracy about it, and it's got bullet drop, and like they're projectile weapons. They're not like hit scan and stuff like that. But it didn't need to be like. Didn't add anything to the game for it to be projectiles, in my opinion. And secondly, it leads to the mods, the inclusion of mods in the game, which I don't think adds anything tangible to the game itself. Like, it doesn't really bring anything to the game that I feel needs to be there. Like, there's no reason why I need to be farming fucking shards and picking up mods and managing my inventory of fucking mods and all this kind of shit. Like, this just doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, it adds nothing, in my opinion. Like, it just feels like a pointless sort of progression system, and those destroy the hiss nodes missions, those occasional missions that show up, those are the same thing. Like
there's not a variety of enemies. There's only probably like less than 10, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. But like I'm more thinking like it feels like it's a pointless sort of progression system designed to, I don't know, keep players playing, like, or because they were told that games have to have a progression system in 2019 or something. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't have an internal logic to it. There's no reason why it exists. It just sort of exists. And it's odd. It's odd in a game like Control, where it seems like everything makes sense for it to exist. Like, everything exists for a reason in Control, in the game world. But, like, in the shooting system, it feels like it's just there because that's what games do, you know? And it doesn't, it feels bad from that perspective because I feel like, yeah, it should be as certain as I feel the rest of the game is, you know? It's not on track with how I feel the rest of the game is, which is, yeah, a bummer, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's probably my biggest complaint about the game is that, yeah, like, obviously, I don't like the shooting. It's fine. Like, it's very manageable, but I don't want to hit something. And I know when a game is telling me I should hit something, and I don't like not hitting stuff. Like, my problem is that the fucking cursor will go orange, indicating that I have a target, and then when I shoot, I don't hit the target, even though I'm using a sniper rifle, where it fires in a fucking straight line. Like, doesn't really feel like it's on me. So that is obviously a problem, but yeah, the bigger problem, in my opinion, is those mods, those personal mods, and the weapon mods. They just I totally think you should be able to change weapons whenever you want.
You can do it on the fly.
Pause
the game, switch them out.
No, I don't. What I meant more was I totally think having multiple weapons is a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know why it's locked like that.
It is odd.
Like you can only carry 2 at a time, technically, but you can also switch between. Like you can pause the game and switch between them while you're mid-fight.
Yeah, I run around with the shotgun and the regular, whatever the default is.
The grip, yeah.
The grip, and if there's something in the distance, I'll switch to that sniper rifle thing. But yeah, otherwise, why couldn't I just have number buttons switching to fucking weapons, right? But yeah, no, I like having multiple guns, and I think the way the game is set up, it's good to have multiple varieties of gun. It's mostly just, I think the mods are a dumb system, man. I fucking hate how much time I have to spend literally just deconstructing one mod after. Is there like a mass deconstruct button?
No, not that I recall.
Oh my god, it is fucking tedious. Like, just fucking hold F. Like, get the fuck out of here. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, that'd be good. Like, smart callers jump.
Yeah.
Except for anything above level 4. Because it's not like Diablo where you can just choose not to pick up white shit. Like, if you move near something,
it just picks it up.
Yeah. You don't know what it is until you pick it up. So
yeah.
That entire system should be fucking extracted and chucked out of the fucking game. Like, just get rid of it. It's fucking shit and it doesn't make any sense. That's my thoughts.
Right.
Anyway. Otherwise, I absolutely fucking love it. Oh, I am up to a fucking fight at the moment that I fucking hate. I'll tell you what. Dear listeners, when you get up to the fridge fight, it's not just you. Good God, what a dog shit fight.
I don't want to spoil anything for you, but get good at it.
Oh, no. I won't say any more, but you'll know.
It took me, I think, 2 goes. Or 3.
Yeah, really?
2 or 3, yeah.
I'm up to my 3rd. I died on the 2nd one, and I fucking shit.
I died on one of them. The first time I died was because I didn't realize when it was attacking you, it does something during that attack, and I didn't realize it was doing something. And all of a sudden, I'm like, "What is? Okay, yep, that happens." But then I learned that and kept going.
Anyway. But like, still, I love the process of getting into that stuff, like getting into that, all these different places. And what was that line that I loved?
The clock line.
Oh my god, it's so good.
That area is really cool.
Yeah, it is. The Bureau sealed it a while ago because of all the clocks. And it's the way he delivers it. That's not how he delivers it in game. When he says it, he sort of says it right, like, of course, like, you're not an idiot, are you? Right? Like, you understand. Yeah. There's too many fucking
Have
clocks.
you been down there? There's like clocks
there are
pouring
way
out
too
of
many clocks. There's just way too many clocks. But nevertheless, yeah, it's just a funny situation. There's like lots of very subtle humor in it.
Yeah,
you know, like a lot of really subtle humor, a lot of like sardonic. Like there's something very very droll about complaining about bureaucracy when you work for the bureau, like this bureau that looks after like basically magical items, like being bored with your job when you work for fucking the X-Files just seems weird, and then it sort of reminds you of the humanity of it all, which is really cool. You know, it just reinforces how much they've thought through the whole thing, which is right.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet. I am absolutely going to finish it. But I'll tell you what, when they switched to retail code, like when our press codes switched to retail codes, it deleted my save game, and I was talking to Nate before you found a way to fix it. I was not going to play it. I was done. I'm like, I can't do it all again. And Nate was like, yeah, me too. Like, I love it to pieces, but I can't go through the whole fucking start of it again. So that's probably me done with. But yeah, we fixed it up, and I got my save game back, and I'm back in.
Yeah.
I haven't tried Ancestors yet, but I wonder if the same has happened to Ancestors.
But you know how to fix it, so.
It's true. I don't really care.
Yeah, what I was going to say, because we got code for this super early, so I finished it like a week and a half ago, so my mind is a bit foggy, but the thing is that like this is probably the most talked about game since I'd say Red Dead, in terms of like people talking like behind the scenes to other critics and reviewers, because just everybody seems really like just want to talk to someone else about what's going on in the story and cool things you can find. And like, I haven't had an experience like this since I think Red Dead was probably the last one. Or maybe like Sekiro a little bit, but nowhere near as much.
Yeah.
No. Just because of the weird things you find and things that the story does. And yeah, I think it's just one of those games where they did such a good job on that world. So yeah, like if you're a fan of Remedy's other games, definitely like recommend it. I think it elevates those other games as well.
I am not a Remedy fan in the sense, like in the same way that you or Steve Wright are. Right, those two, you two are fucking lunatics for Remedy and shit. I'm like, I didn't even bother trying to play Quantum Break because it was on the Windows Store. I'm like, no, I'm good. Apparently it's better now, like significantly better now. But I might go back to it after Control, or maybe after the silly season, really, if we're being honest. So I wouldn't say I'm a fucking Remedy fan, but no, I think everyone should play Control. But like, it is. I mean, I don't think 2019 has been a stellar year for games, but it's probably the best game I played this year.
Yeah.
It's absolutely an unexpected hit for me. Like, I didn't think it was going to be as good as it is. Because it sort of looked... I don't know. I thought the promotional stuff for it looked kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, didn't look... This takes itself quite seriously, and it is real. It's much better for it. It's good. Yeah.
Did you get to the Panopticon yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
met that character. He's really good too. Like one of the security guys. He says some funny stuff.
Yeah.
like the sort of humor you were talking about. Like, yeah, that's obviously. Like he says, he does a couple of those as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what I was saying was, if you are a fan of like those other games they've made, I think that this game it brings those up. Like it just once you figure out like anyway the stuff that happens, but like I think it just makes those games better. There's very rare where you can play a game and like look at someone else's catalog in the past and be like, oh, okay, yeah, and like elevates those stuff. Very few games sort of do that. I think it's one of the rare games where it's like it just makes those games better. I feel like, yeah, it just does interesting things and like what it does in that game. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I think it's probably the best game I've played this year, and the story is phenomenal. Like it goes in some fucking weird places. Like you were at one stage talking about something. I'm like, it gets weirder. Like it gets really fucking strange. So I really dig the story. And like there's moments where I was like literally fucking like gobsmacked at what was going on in this story. It's just I think it's nuts. Like Sam Lake is such a good writer. And he makes like interesting, unique stories that like not a lot of other developers are doing. Like I don't know who they could partner up to make this game. Like like they wanted to make this game and Microsoft said no.
Yeah.
And you know, it's possible like they make weird games. Alan Wake is a fucking weird game. Quantum Break is a weird game. Max Payne is a fucking noir game. Like they don't make games that other people make. They like make sort of smaller titles that there's action games, but with like weird stories and things. So yeah, I don't think there's a lot of developers out there that are doing like what they do. So I'm super excited to see what they work on next because I feel like they've got maybe 2 teams or 3 teams over there now. I know one of them's working on like that Crossfire game, and that they've got like a mobile studio as well, and they've obviously picked up the rights again to Alan Wake. So, like, I feel like, do we see an Alan Wake 2 at some stage? I think yes. I was watching an interview with Sam Lake, I think it was through IGN, and he was basically saying, like, I want to make an Alan Wake 2. But it's about like the time has to be right. So if they turned around and said they were making a Control sequel, I'd be happy with that as well, or an Alan Wake 2. Because I think Control I think is a really good game. I don't understand how it hasn't gotten higher scores. I saw someone give it a 4 and say that it was. I think the blurb said something about it being like there's no atmosphere in the game. I'm like, what game did you fucking play? Yeah, the whole thing is like oozing style. It's got like such a fucking style about it.
I want to see this.
Yeah. But anyway, I think it's a really good game. Definitely people should check it out. It's hard not to recommend, I feel like. And it looks fantastic on PC. I've heard there are some frame rate problems on console. Hopefully they fix that by now. But on PC it runs super smooth. I'm using a GeForce RTX card, and it's got ray tracing in this game. Probably the best use of ray tracing that I've seen in a game so far. It like elevates the presentation of that game even more with the way it handles lighting and the color. And there's about 6 different ray tracing options in the game, and I've only got 2 of them on. And it looks superb. It looks so good. Nate was saying the same thing. He's put all of them on because he's okay with the game running at like 50 to 60 frames just because of how good it looks. I was like, you can switch off most of those, get like 140 and still have it look good. But he's like, nah, I don't need, like, I'd rather it look like this game looks so good. It's like one of the best looking games this year. So yeah, did you see that review? The guy saying,
yeah, it seems like they must have had
technical issues or something. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was going to get higher reviews. I wouldn't 10 it personally, but
no,
I thought it was going to be like high 80s or maybe
a bromidic narrative. Wow. Cracked out the thesaurus on that one, champ. As if trite doesn't fucking convey the fucking meaning of what you're trying to get across anyway. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, that's some shit, man. Good God, a 4. That is wild. I mean, everyone gets to have their own opinions, right? Yeah, yeah, feels like we must have played different games. Yeah, I wouldn't 10 it either, but it'd be high for me.
Yeah, and there's good moments in that game. There's some set piece. There's a set piece towards the end of the game that's fucking amazing. I think Nate was talking about it last night because he just got to that moment. And he's like, "Fucking hell!" But there's like so many during the game that like someone was messaging me. Or it might have been it was Nate who was messaging me. He got lost somewhere, and as soon as he told me where he was, I instantly knew which way he needed to go. I was like, "Turn left," and he figured it out because like I just know that area. It's just it's so well designed that like you can just instantly remember those sorts of things, and just like weird rooms you get into and what's on like things on the wall, and like you just instantly know where that person what they're talking about. So yeah, there's not a lot of games that sort of can do that. But anyway, yeah, I kind of wish that we were able to talk about it after I finished it, as opposed to like a week and a half, because my brain is so fried at the moment. I can't really remember a lot of it. Yeah, it's I'm definitely keen to hear your thoughts, what you think is sort of the story and where that goes. Because I think it's fucking weird. It goes some interesting places. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. Control.
Yeah. I like absolutely get it. I'm very keen to finish it. I'd probably be down for a spoiler cast.
Yeah.
If you're up for it.
Yeah.
Once you're all settled in or whatever.
Yeah, I think I might replay through it or something again.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to replay it. I messaged Nate and I was like, is there a difficulty on it? Because I maybe play it with a different difficulty, but there's not. It's just kind of new game. But I want to. Like, I'm interested to see what that game, like, knowing how it turns out, or, like, knowing about the game and, like, picking up on different types of Easter eggs and things like that, like, going back to start and replaying it would be cool. So, yeah, I'm keen. I'm keen to check it out. There's so many collectibles in the game. Fucking hell. Yeah. I finished it with, I think, 248. Because I know Steve Wright was doing a guide, and he gave up. Because he's like, there's too many. I think he was at 140, and he asked me how many I had because I'd finished the game at that stage. I'm like, I finished it and I had 248, and I wasn't really looking. He hit up one of the Remedy guys to ask him if they have an official count on it, and he was like, we don't know. There's a lot though. I would have been spewing if there was 250, and I only missed 2, but I heard there's more than 300. Someone else I was talking to said they had over 300 and something. So there's tons of collectibles. And that stuff isn't really, I guess, playing on PC, because there's no achievements on the Epic Store, I didn't really know, like, how many there would have been or anything like that.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Anyway. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Yeah. Can't wait to finish it. Can't wait to beat this fucking fridge.
You've still got a bit to go, sounds like. Have you got your last ability yet?
Yeah, I got all my other abilities. And I've got like a bunch of level 5 mods, so it feels like I'm like, well, from that perspective, it feels like I'm capping it. Like there aren't level 6 mods, are there?
No, I don't think so.
It says it's like Supreme or something.
But I went and did a bunch of side missions, I think, about the stage you're at. And I must have spent like 7 or 8 hours just doing side missions.
Yeah, right. I've got a bunch of side missions that are all teed up. I've got to go do the clocks thing, some mole.
Yeah, because just adding on that, it's really smart about that as well. Like, when you find something and you can't do that thing yet because you don't have the objective, like you can't do that mission, it'll mark it down in your mission list. Like, and that's because I was writing stuff down on a piece of paper, being like, all right, to remind myself to come back here. Until later on, I went into my objectives list, and it had done it for me. I was like, oh, cool, that's super smart.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. All right, is that out now or today?
Yeah,
I think it's out today.
Now, I think. I'm pretty sure. Looks like it is.
Cool.
$60 on the Epic Games Store. I think it's an exclusive, for a timed exclusive. I know everyone fucking loves that. But yeah, could be worse. Could be the Windows Game Store. Yeah.
Anyway. I heard, because I went and watched some interviews and that with Sam Lake afterwards, and he was saying they made Max Payne 2 in like 18 months or something ridiculous. Like, they just smashed that game really quickly. So it just like makes you appreciate some of those games even more, how quickly you just knocked that out of the park. And just I think playing this game makes those games better by understanding like where they've come from in the past and how they like their sort of history and how they get to control, and looking at those other games and how they take elements from them and then kind of twist them around a little bit and then put them in their next game. And light was obviously a huge thing in Alan Wake, and I think it plays it's not like a mechanic in this game, but the way it handles light is like it feels like a big theme of the game as well. So like they don't have there's no like bullet time or anything in there, but like
I feel like it should. I'm disappointed it doesn't. I think it would work really well.
I think maybe because Quantum
basically I just want
Break sort of had that, like an element of bullet time, where you could like slow time down and then speed it up all of a sudden, like all your bullets would hit whatever.
Right.
So yeah, like they've taken that probably from Max Payne, and all of these games have originated from Max Payne being a third person action shooter. They're obviously gotten very good at doing that. Anyway, maybe we'll think about doing a spoiler cast for it, so that'll be fun. So we can drag Nate in. He seems pretty on board with talking about it from all the messages I keep getting from him.
Nice.
All right, we don't have any news.
We don't. Slow news week.
And also because we're recording this earlier.
True.
And
no,
I guess we recorded early last week as well.
That's true.
No news.
There's just no news. That's about it, I guess. The winners of the International 2019 are OG, my boys, and that's the news.
I put Ice Frog put a tweet up for the first time in a year, and all he did was retweet last year's tweet that he put up, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Good. That is gold.
Yeah.
That is magical.
Yeah. All right. So The Gap, you can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, under The Gap or the GA Podcast. Please rate and read the show if you can. Helps other people find it. So thank you for doing that. You can. If you want to send us emails, you can email us at gapodcast@gmail.com. You can go to our social media, facebook.com/GAPodcast, twitter.com/GAPodcast. You can also go to our Discord page, thegapodcast.com/Discord, if you want to check that out. I don't know if we had any questions there. I didn't check, but we've gone too far now. It's too late.
We don't anyway.
That's good.
Let's hear some questions.
Send us questions.
Or emails, like Tristan's awesome email from the other week.
We've got voice channels in there, people playing video games. I haven't played much because I haven't been here. We've been in Melbourne, and then I've been busy packing. But definitely jump into there. And you can also find us on YouTube, thegapodcast.com/YouTube, if you want to check that out. What we put up last week? We talked about Rainbow and something else. Ghost Recon? Put a bunch of Ghost Recon footage up last week in last week's show. Didn't put the Rainbow Six footage up because it didn't work.
Radio. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that was I couldn't get it to work properly, so that was unfortunate. And You can go to our website, thegapodcast.com, find all the links to things we talked about, including past episodes of the show. And that's all thanks to our Patreon members who help pay the bills. If you want to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/gapodcast and hit the subscribe button if you can. Don't have to. Aussie Dingback was our most recent.
Try it again.
Aussie Dingbat.
There you go.
Aussie Dingbat.
Thanks, Aussie Dingbat.
Jumped in this week, so appreciate.
Aussie Dingbat. Aussie Dingbat. Aussie Dingbat. Man of damn. Man of damn. Man of damn. Man of damn.
Madam Man.
Madam. Aussie Dingbat. Yeah. Nice.
I'm just extremely tired. All right, I've been packing up and it's now 11 o'clock at night.
You had fucking movers, buddy. Like, just fucking calm your farm, champ.
Yeah. I've got to. This is the last thing to pack up. I've got to get this podcast going and then pack my PC in a box somewhere.
Damn. Remember, don't put it up before midnight.
No, I won't. Well, it won't be done by then anyway. It'll take me some time.
Sweet.
I think that's it. Anything you want to work-wise you've been posting about?
Go check out my story. I wrote about how Carry IO exemplified the winning spirit that lets OG win the international, which was tricky, actually. It was tricky because obviously I'm not a Dota player, but obviously I'm a sports fan, so I can analyze shit from that perspective. Sure. And yeah, at the end of the day, you're just trying to dig to try to find the relevant storyline, right? And I didn't want to write the same old, this is why things you might have not have noticed or something like that. So I decided to just focus on the IO games. I think Carry IO was like one of the big storylines from the international, and yeah, like I said, I'm not a Dota player, so there's more than decent chance that I may have fucked up something about how IO works, but nobody's decided to team me up on Twitter about it yet, so that's good. And yeah, it was just a different angle to look at, because it really is at the end of the day about the staggering dedication to teamwork that OG attacks that game with, but yeah, I think it's a good piece, and it's worth reading. What about you? You didn't review Control, did you?
No, for the site we did.
But you didn't.
No. Steve Wright reviewed it. I think he gave it 10. He was talking to me the night before. I was like, I wouldn't give it 10. But I think he gave Quantum Break a 9. And so he wanted to go higher than that because he I think he also said he likes it better than Alan Wake, which he's a huge Alan Wake fan as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go check out a bunch of his content, Survivor.com. I helped him with a few things.
Cool.
On the review guide, not the review guide, the collectibles. Oh, no, it was stuff I won't talk about. It was like Easter eggy things, but yeah, we were sort of helping out with that one. And I helped out. Who else did I help out? Lance, who does a lot of like Dark Souls, Bloodborne sort of modding. He's also modding Control, but I was helping him with some stuff, so I don't know. He managed to put a video up about that yet. I haven't checked, but yeah, you can go check out that video as well. Lance is a good dude. And I think that is it. You can go to twitter.com/Luke Lawrie for me, and Jojo for yourself.
That's correct.
I think that is it.
And that is it. This is from next week. We are international.
We are.
We're an international podcast. Luke's moving to San Francisco. Yep. So good luck.
Yep.
Luke.
Thank you.
And there may be a few teething problems while we try to work out how to continue to make the gap work, but the gap will continue. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, bigger opportunity as well. I've been hit up for some cool events already.
Really?
Like 3 events already for over there. So yeah,
rad.
Cool stuff.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I'll be fucking man in the fort with all the boring shit, I guess, from now on. And Luke will be doing the fucking amazing shit. No, I'm not jealous. It's fine. Don't worry, whatever. Yeah, no, so it'd be awesome, and good luck, dude. And yeah, you'll still hear us every week, dear listeners. That's not going to change. So yeah. Unless fucking bigwig over here gets like snapped up by fucking some big company, starts doing podcasts for them instead of and then just be me. Yeah. I'll continue to get the gap will change. Like format wise, it'll change because it'll just be me, and it'll start every week with 30 minutes of me cursing out Luke. But apart from that, it'll be largely the same thing. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right, that's it. We'll be back next week. I don't know what we're playing. I feel like there's another break coming in.
What I hope is that I'm definitely playing Telling Lies, but what I hope is that next week, right, we'll go into the fucking document to work out what we've been playing, and I will put Ancestors in there. And I will have fallen down some fucking rabbit hole.
How it's the game of the year all of a sudden.
Fucking monkey. Yeah, that's what I hope. I hope I have one of those classic Joab fucking switcheroonies where I'm suddenly fucking all in. And I'm like, no, you don't fucking get it.
There's a reason why you need to learn how to use your hands.
You just have to earn it. Yep. Yeah. That's what I hope. Anyway. We'll work it out when we get to it. Luke's going to be playing fucking plane games at best. You going to play on your Switch or some shit?
I don't know what I'm doing yet. I haven't figured that out. My Switch is...
Get the latest update for Dead Cells.
Oh, okay.
And play it on Switch. I hope it's out on Switch. I don't know.
I believe...
I mean, the update.
What it is. No, I'm going to probably jump back into Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And play that as my playing game. And then when I get over there, maybe check out... I don't know. I have to find someone to fucking play shooters with now.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to find someone else to have to carry.
Yeah, but who is going to carry me? Maybe you can 200 ping it in and still carry us.
Maybe.
That'd be good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Thanks everyone listening this week. We'll catch you all on the flip side.